Question number 12, Chris Auchinvole.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister for the Environment. How many televisions have been collected to date under the government's TV Takeback programme?
The Honourable Amy Adams.
Mr. Speaker, in just over 1 month, 18,145 televisions have so far been dropped off for recycling in the Hawke's Bay and the West Coast, who, as the first regions to make the switch to digital television, are the first to be involved in the government's TV Takeback programme. Based on the average weight of a television, this is the equivalent of over 435 tonnes of waste diverted from our landfills.
Chris Auchinvole.
Supplementary to the Minister. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What happens to the televisions once they're collected for recycling?
The Honourable Amy Adams.
Mr. Speaker, well, that's a good question. Televisions dropped off for recycling are taken to national recycling facilities where they're taken apart. Components are recycled locally or sent overseas to specialist recycling facilities. The material extracted has a variety of uses. For example, glass from the screens can be transformed into bunker sand for golf courses. Copper around the electron gun can be recycled into new cabling. Degaussing wire that sits around the front of the screen is high-grade iron that can be recycled into metal goods. And, Mr. Speaker, televisions also contain materials that can be harmful if released into soil or waterways, such as lead, mercury and cadmium. Safe recycling takes away the risk of contamination and reduces the volume of waste going into our landfills.
And that brings to a close questions for, I beg your pardon, point of order, the Honourable Annette.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I seek leave to table an answer to a written question which I have just received that's not publicly available, I believe, which shows that the number of vacant houses, state houses in New Zealand is 5%, unlike the answer the Minister gave in the House just a few moments ago.
Point of order was called and there should be no interjection. The leave is sought for that course of action. Is there any objection? Yes, sir. There is objection. And that brings to a close questions for oral answer. Would some honourable member care to move that the House